This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news, a bizarre and tragic shooting leaves a 73-year-old woman dead and a police officer on leave after a shoot-don't-shoot demonstration goes wrong. The scene was at a Citizens Police Academy in Punta Gorda. Mary Knowlton was taking part in the shoot-don't-shoot scenario last night to demonstrate how officers train when they use lethal force. The department says only blank ammunition was supposed to be used, but somehow a live round ended up in one of the guns.
I think, the last person to see her, talk to her, because she was standing right beside me. She kind of gave me that little wink and smile, as Mary was famous for.
That we were unaware that any live ammunition for this particular weapon existed.
Florida's Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the incident. The Zika virus is spreading in South Florida. The Department of Health says there are now 22 non-travel related cases. Another 14 new cases are also being reported in 5 counties: Bay, Palm Beach, Lake, St. Lucie, and Seminole. School is back in session in Manatee County. Nearly 49,000 students are returning to the classrooms, along with 2,700 teachers. The district superintendent says it was a smooth start to the school year.
The first day of school is going wonderfully well. Our buses went off without a hitch early this morning, and many of our schools are checking in, saying everything's okay.
Classes will begin in Sarasota County on August 22nd. A Sarasota attorney is filing a lawsuit challenging Florida's third-grade retention law. Andrea Flynn Mogensen is representing more than a dozen parents, including one from Sarasota. The parents opted their kids out of standardized testing, and as a result, they were held back. An emergency motion was also made that would allow the students to move on to the next grade this year. And now on to weather, Bob. The rain is back.
Yeah, the afternoon and evening storms are back now, Alan. You know, yesterday we had the low pressure area that's been around for the last 5 days slowly moving away, and now it continues to do so. But with this afternoon and evening variety of storms, it's been rather intense in areas. And get a look at the Lakewood Ranch webcam. They did not avoid the heavy rainfall this afternoon, although a lot more sunshine today as a result of this transitional phase that we're going through right now with high pressure building back in. And then we're back to the basics. Afternoon and evening storms producing some locally heavy rainfall, some frequent lightning strikes, especially east of I-75. And then one of the banding features that's kind of working its way into this low pressure area to the north and west of us is also approaching the coast, but that's not doing much in terms of bringing rain. It's more of that sea breeze that's really fired up. Northport getting some rain again. That's the second shot of rain that has moved through there. Also near Venice and Jacaranda, other showers near Lakewood pushing off toward Parrish. And then you can see that large area of low pressure continue to swirl and move toward New Orleans. So that, as it moves away, we'll see a return to those afternoon and evening variety of storms. Rainfall amounts have been impressive inland areas. Not much going on near the coast. Right now it's 79. It's cooled down. The dew point temperature at 72. And we had a feels like temperature 2 hours ago, Alan, at 104 degrees. So that's one of the benefits of these showers in the afternoon. It kind of cools things down. Our high was above average due to the increased sunshine today that we saw. And the low this morning was 77. And as far as the tropical satellite goes, there's no real threat of any significant tropical development coming up over the next few days. So that's a good sign, considering back in 2004, Charlie had just gotten its name down in the Caribbean back in the day. Our forecast does call for some nice afternoon and evening storms for the next 7 days.
Lawns are green.
That's right. Lawns are really green and wet, yes.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Brent King and Jan Schneider, the Democrats who will face off in the August primary to challenge Vern Buchanan for his seat in Congress. The two will debate in our studio when we come back.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Welcome back. Florida's primary election is just less than 3 weeks away. For Democrats heading to the polls, you will be choosing between 2 candidates who want to represent the Suncoast in the U.S. House. Joining us tonight are the candidates in the 16th Congressional District, Brent King, a commercial airline pilot from Lakewood Ranch, and Jan Schneider, an attorney who has run for the seat in Congress before. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for doing this.
Well,
we really appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Let's get right to it. And I want to begin by asking both of you, what is the single biggest issue or reason that Vern Buchanan should be replaced in the U.S. Congress, and why are you and not your opponent the best candidate to do so? Jan, I'll start with you.
Thank you. This is an election like never before about values, policies, issues. Vern Buchanan does well on his values, but mine are very different. He's voted to privatize Social Security, largest single source of income into this area. 1/3 of our residents are on Social Security. Think what would have happened in 2008 had Social Security been privatized.
Why are you better to take on Vern Buchanan than Brent?
I'm a lawyer. I've dealt with policy a very long time. I've been invited to testify in Congress. I've been in Congress. I've drafted legislation. And I know very well the art of compromise.
Okay, Brent, what do you think is the single biggest issue and the reason why you should replace Vern Buchanan, and why are you a better candidate and person to do so than Jan?
I would say the single biggest issue right now is specifically that Vern Buchanan has endorsed Donald Trump. Just the other day, 50 national security experts came out and signed on a piece of paper indicating that he's not fit to be commander-in-chief nor the president of the United States. Other than that, women's issues are a big issue as well. Vern Buchanan consistently votes against women's issues, whether it's a woman's health choice or equal work for equal pay. And so that's one of the reasons, those are 2 reasons Vern Buchanan.
Why are you a better candidate to do this than Jan?
Well, I appreciate Jan. Jan has run several times before, so I'm going to bring a fresh perspective, a new voice to the district, and I am working together with other Democrats within the 16th district, trying to organize the Hispanic caucus and work together to get the Hispanic caucus going again so those guys can get a voice in this election, working with the Sarasota Black NAACP, and so trying to get the minority vote out to come together to support and work with the Democratic candidates.
All right, let's move on to some other issues here. In your opinions, what is the biggest economic issue facing the residents of Sarasota, Manatee, and also Southern Hillsborough County, which is in this district? And specifically, What can Congress do about it? And I'll start with you this time, Brent.
Economic issues are huge a start where Congress can start working. Vern Buchanan has opposed the minimum wage increase. And if you take a look at what the minimum wage is today, it's roughly in Florida $8.05 an hour, roughly $16,400 a year. And for a family of four to live off of that, it's virtually impossible. So that's something that we as Congress people can work to change and move towards a living wage for the people of this district.
Jan?
Well, first of all, Social Security is a huge economic issue because it's the largest single source of income into this district. Another huge economic issue is taxes. I am for raising the taxes on the top 1% and keeping them stable or lowering them for anybody else. Now, as far as income and jobs in the district, one issue that looms very large is Port Manatee. The Panama Canal reopened at the end of June. I think it was the 26th. Port Manatee is the nearest deep water port to the Panama Canal. Now, the same can be said. The Port Tampa Bay is also exceedingly important. It's not in the district, but people who work at the port, people that use the port are in the district. It is the largest port, believe it or not, in the state of Florida. It handles 1/3 of the cargo coming in and out of our state, the cruise lines. So from a federal point of view, getting help for the port would be the one boon. And Vern Buchanan, by the way, has done a good job on this. We don't disagree, but we have to do better.
But let me pick up on something that you just said in terms of raising taxes on the wealthiest of our citizens. This is one of the most affluent communities in the entire country. And keep in mind, when it comes to congressional district ratings, it's R+6. That means that traditionally Republicans fare better electoral-wise. So how does raising taxes help you win an election in November?
It helps families. And this district is very big on families. The statistics now are that the top 0.1, that's 0.1% in this country, control as much wealth as the bottom 90%. The top 1%, that's 1.0%, make 20% of the income. Now, I think people in this country care about the future, and in this district care about the future. We need to raise the minimum wage. We need to raise taxes in order to have a functional government.
Let me pick up on that with you, Brent, because 1 in 4 children in Manatee County live in poverty. 1 in 5 children in Sarasota County live in poverty. Specifically, what can Congress do to change that?
Well, that's quite interesting that you asked, Alan. Yesterday, I was at Turning Points in Manatee County, and that's a homeless shelter for children and for homeless people. One of the statistics that they indicated to me yesterday is that several years ago, roughly about 10 years ago, 90% of the people that were homeless were just single males. Today, it's 50% women and children, and then 50% single males. So we as a society, the Republicans in Congress and in the state legislature, are responsible for not increasing Medicaid to these folks that need it the most. The working poor, roughly 900,000 people in the state of Florida, are unable to afford insurance. Thus, what happens is that they get the most expensive care, which is emergent care, which for you and me as the taxpayer, that raises our taxes.
I want to get to one last thing before the break, and keeping in mind that it's unclear whether the Democrats would take over the House. So how do you get any of this passed if you're still dealing with a Republican-controlled House? Real quick answers, Jan.
By bargaining. For example, on taxes, I would leave alone the current dividends tax, the current estate tax, the current tax, those kinds of taxes. We had the American Taxpayer Relief Act a couple of years ago. I think it was 4 years ago. We're not going to do better.
Okay.
But
and Brent,
I would say we take baby steps, and the first one would be something that Congress, Republicans and Democrats agree alike on, and that would be the public-private infrastructure bank, where we can start to work together to rebuild our infrastructure.
all right, let's continue our conversation in just a minute. We'll be back right after this.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are speaking with the Democratic candidates for the Suncoast seat in the U.S. Congress, Brent King and Jan Schneider. Welcome back, everyone. Let me both ask you about ISIS. What should we be doing to combat ISIS that is not currently being done, Brent?
Well, one of the things we need to do is, unlike Donald Trump, is demonizing the people of Islamic faith. The folks over in the Middle East, we have to work with them to solve their issue. It's their problem. And so as the United States, we can help lead that coalition to organize the Islamic countries to fight this struggle themselves. No, I would suggest no ground troops at this time. Absolutely not. Jan?
You're on my favorite subject. I ran before, and I ran an anti-Iraq war campaign. Don't get in there. We've got to give up trying to effect regime change. Against ISIS, first, our protection starts at home. We have to have better vetting procedures for people who come into this country. Secondly, we have to have a more welcoming foreign policy. No, I would not send ground troops, but there are a lot of areas in the world where we could have much more assistance that stops short of military.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the race itself, because you know there are a lot of Democrats who are watching this right now, and even Republicans who are saying, hey, listen, you're going up against a 5-term congressman who has almost $2 million in the bank, is worth anywhere from $50 to $80 million himself, and that's a tall order. This seat was targeted by the Democrats for a lot of years, going back to 2006, 2010, 2012, but not now. And a couple months ago, I got to ask Steny Hoyer, the number 2 Democrat in the House, about this, and this is what he had to say.
You've got to target seats where you have good candidates, an ability to raise significant sums of money, and you have good polling numbers. So what we do on the national scale, there are about 65 seats, and we have about 61 really good candidates, we think, around the country, targeted in those seats that we think are doable in the context of having a good candidate, ability to raise good money, good message, and good poll numbers. And right now, this district does not fall in that category because we don't have a candidate who's generating the kind of interest that would allow all 3 of those to happen.
Neither one of you are raising a significant amount of money, and the fact is, and I could tell you from my own personal experience, you could go to all the Democratic and community meetings as you want, but to reach voters in November, you have to be able to advertise and get your message across to people who are not necessarily Democrats and Republicans, but who will be voting in November. So how do you do it, Jan?
Okay, first of all, we ran the closest race in Florida of a challenger against Katherine Harris on less than 1/10 of the money. Second answer is Vern Buchanan is defeatable. This is a very odd election year. Bernie Sanders certainly showed that, and Donald Trump. But say even it isn't winnable. I am a Yale-educated lawyer. I went to law school with the Clintons. Even if the worst happened and we couldn't win the seat, we can win the presidential election in Florida, and that means 4 areas in Florida. We are one. So among other things, I'm going to do my best to help my former classmate, and I'm going to do it the Bernie Sanders way.
And this is where I have a disagreement with Jan, is that I believe that we can win this district. And
we couldn't.
And we have started months ago developing a database to identify potential swing voters that we can push our direction. Donald Trump has helped motivate this Democratic base and the Republican base to absolutely oppose what's going on. And so with Vern Buchanan endorsing Donald Trump, that is a motivating factor. Our campaign has been working with phone banks. We've been canvassing. We're starting to put up our signs now. So we're going to do the ground game. We're going to work and show and specifically show how Vern Buchanan has worked against women's issues and other. Go ahead.
It's a slightly better district for starters. We maybe should tell people that District 16 now goes from Clark Road in Sarasota to the Alafaya River in Hillsborough. So there's a significant change in the constellation of the district.
Right, but it's still rated R+6, and you
I
can't.
think it's R+2 now.
And well, for us specifically, that's one of the reasons why our campaign has really been working to motivate and work together with, especially the Hispanic caucus, because they have a significant reason to get out because of the discriminatory and nasty remarks that Donald Trump.
Will either one of you be able to advertise, whether it's on television?
Yes. Absolutely.
Mailers, you know, that's an expensive proposition. This is considered the Tampa market, one of the most expensive television markets.
We'll have to be wise how we spend our money. We will never be able to outspend Vern Buchanan, but we will have a very smart campaign.
And Jen, I'll give you the last word.
Okay, yes, we've done it before. We're raising money now. But it's not just about money, as certainly the national races around here have shown. Trump and Hillary, Hillary and Sanders. Sanders did better than anyone would believe on $27 average contributions.
Okay, and I'll have to leave it there. I want to thank you both for coming in tonight.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Our pleasure. We'll be back in just a moment with comments from our viewers.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Welcome back. It is a record year for sea turtles here on the Suncoast. Last night we told you about some ways that you could help protect nests on our local beaches, and here's what you had to say. Patty Irvin writes, I hate when people leave their trash, especially by a nest. And Paul Smith writes, hopefully they can survive water pollution that they encounter. And Roger Dresden writes, better having turtle nests than condos. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a great night.